What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the press to handstand, and more specifically we're going to be talking about what movements are good for accessory exercises to help with your press to handstand and getting your first press. First of all, I will mention that I've done an entire video and tutorial on the press to handstand. If you want to check out that, I will link that in the description down below. I've also got a video on some quick tips about why you may not have your handstand yet and some more technique comments. Today's video, however, is going to be more focused on building up weak links in the press to handstand and some accessory movements that you can add into your training to build strength and challenge those weak links. Let's jump straight into it. The first exercise I want to share with you is the holy grail of two-arm handstands, and that is the tuck handstand. You guys may have noticed over the past year I've been spending a hell of a lot of time working on my tuck handstand. It's for good reason. It's not something that I was working for to achieve my press. I already had a press, but it's something that's made my press much better. And if I was working from scratch now, it's something that I'd want to have in place before I started working on my press to handstand. The tuck handstand is going to help build strength in the shoulders, and it's also going to teach you the articulation of the hips from the top down position. So when you go into a tuck handstand, it's essentially just a more intense version of the straight arm handstand. We shouldn't have a break in our shoulders. They should remain stacked, and our hips should drift just over the hand line to counterbalance the weight. This is going to load the shoulders up more, so it's going to build more strength there, but it's also going to teach you how to keep the hips over the hands as long as possible before you end up going down into a press. If you were to take the tuck handstand and just keep on tucking a little bit further, you'd essentially end up with like a tuck planche or a tuck press to handstand position. Really the main thing here to think about is trying to maintain those shoulders stacked on top of those hands and trying to keep those hips a little bit over the hand line to counterbalance. I know some people may say here, well, what if I can't balance into a tuck handstand and I just want to work on my press? And my answer to that would be, if you can't balance tuck handstand, then learn to balance tuck handstand before you start working on the press. It's definitely a prerequisite in my opinion. The next exercise we're going to talk about is something, again, I've mentioned before on this channel, and that is the support to pike press. The video I've mentioned it in before is a scapular strengthening video, so I'll just link that one down below if you want some more details about this exercise. But essentially, this exercise is going to target the bottom up position. So when we had the tuck handstand, that's doing the top down of the press handstand. This exercise is going to help build strength from the bottom up, the first portion of that press to handstand position. It is a little bit easier than the press to handstand itself, but it's going to help you get more volume in and get more reps done in that position to help build up some of that straight arm pushing strength in those traps and shoulders. You start in a sort of pseudo planche lean position, and then you're going to lean the shoulders forward. You're going to then try and lift the hips up, bringing the feet towards your hands as high as you can, trying to stack the shoulders, trying to lift the feet if you can. Pause for a second, hold that position, and then drop back to that starting position. The final exercise I want to talk to you about today is a weighted exercise that's going to help with your straight arm strength overhead, and that is the trap 3 raise. This exercise is specifically looking at building strength in the lower traps, but it's going to translate over to our press to handstand. For this one here, you don't need heavy weight. You can use heavy weight, you can use a smaller range of motion. However, don't be afraid to get the 1.25 kilo plates out, or even just use your body weight and perform reps, because this isn't an easy exercise. This one is a really good weak point targeter. A lot of people have weak lower traps. This is also fantastic for a whole host of different movements, but specifically it can be used to help build some strength in that kind of shoulder flexion, straight arm position that would be like we'd have to do in a press to handstand. You want to perform this one on ideally a bench that's going to lock your torso in place. I like to place it around 30 degrees. The closer you get a flat, the harder this is going to be. The closer you get a vertical, the easier it's going to be. From here, holding the weights, holding no weights, lift the arms straight overhead, just outside of shoulder width, using and focusing on those lower traps, pause in that top position, lower it back down and repeat. But those are it. Those are my top 3 kind of accessory movements that I like to give to clients and I like to recommend to people to help with their press to handstand training. Definitely number 1, tuck handstand. That straight arm press to pike is also a very useful exercise. If you're weak at the bottom position, you can make it harder in kind of an infinite amount of ways. And finally, the trap 3 raise, one of my favorite accessory weighted movements. I use it a lot. I use it a lot of clients, and definitely well worth your time. But that has kind of been it for this week, guys. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. If you have any questions about today's video, just leave a comment in the comment section down below and I'll try to respond and get back to you. Lastly, if you haven't already and you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe, why not hit that subscribe button and stay around for any future videos coming out. But that has been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.